So welcome to today's Greater Life CoffeeCast, and with today being the pillar of health. And all week we are going to be diving into the theme of receiving, of allowing ourselves to receive. And you can probably hear I am walking through the woods near Tremaine Key, which is a stunningly beautiful part, just down on the Helford River. And all around me, I am cradled and held by majestic trees. And what we do know is that, of course, through the mycelia and through their root network, trees are in constant communication with all other trees in the forest and all other plants. And indeed, the concept of the mother tree exists, the kind of main tree within the forest who is regulating the nutrient flow across the entire forest. And so, as we take this model of giving and receiving, I wonder to what extent you are allowing yourself to be a co-creative part of such a nurturing environment. We often talk about nature versus nurture, and I rather think that a better way to frame it might be that nature is the nurture. And in Friday's CoffeeCast, I spoke about the affirming power of Ted Lasso and the importance of, in this time, in this epoch, of affirming humanity. And I think as we explore health today, that more and more people are realizing that there is something profoundly sick in the world. And that is not to say that some of these new inventions and technologies that are coming online are kind of evil without any kind of nuance. Okay? Save that, what we are accelerating towards is a threshold point whereby the power of these tools, as they exponentially synergize together, as the capacity, for example, for large language models to work with text and language, the power of image generators to create image and videos. And when we bring all of those together, well, suddenly what it is to be human will be fundamentally called into question. Because soon, pretty much anyone with a few £100 and a decent internet connection will be able to make anyone look like they've said anything. And the ramifications of this are pretty profound. So then, what is the solution? What can be the counterbalance, the counterpoise to this? And it is the power of nature. It is the beauty of nature. It is walking with your friends in nature. Just walking past a couple of folk who've been out for a walk. And you may have even heard the phrase forest bathing. And one of the challenges that we have is the scorn, the profound dislocation, largely, we must acknowledge and accept, created through the Judeo-Christian traditions of attempting to tame wildness, that anything that was wild was regarded as, on some level, the work of the devil, right? So that nature was to be tamed, and indeed that this idea of man being given dominion over the beasts, right? And what this has done is to fundamentally disconnect us from ourselves. For we can only truly understand ourselves, and therefore only truly experience optimal health, as a relationship with nature, as an interdependence. Yet we have sought, through concepts like the ascent of man and now the ascent of AI, to become separated. And yet, the science is pretty clear that when we are separated from literally the vibration of the earth, the frequency of the earth, the Schumann resonance, when we are separated from this, it is disastrous for our health. And equally, we can go the other way and look at the multiple peer-reviewed studies on the power of grounding, of getting your bare feet on the earth, on everything from inflammation to other chronic illnesses. So, where do we take all of this? And my invitation actually is to track what is going on within your system right now. Particularly when I mentioned the word forest bathing. Was there a knee-jerk response of like, who is this stupid hippie, for example? Because what that suggests is that there is a part of you that is disconnected from the fullness of who you could be. Because there is a part of you that is closed down to new ideas. Okay? And there is no judgment here. Like I said, this is a generational upon generation process of dislocating humanity from one of the most profound sources that affirms their humanity, the natural world. So my invitation today is, if you do experience any, I want to say, almost like the image that is coming is like the kink in a garden hose. If there's any kinks where you're like, I can't get on board with this. To be okay with there being an edge. And to be willing to explore that edge some more. And perhaps be willing to kill some sacred cows. Like, what sacred cows is this edge upholding? Perhaps something like nature is not alive, for example. Or, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but there is some core belief perhaps that you've developed, and it's kept you safe, it's kept you protected, but right now, the distinct possibility exists, since you are hearing these words, is that that old patterning and programming is actually keeping you from the fullest potential and the fullest love that you could experience during your time here on earth. So, if there was an edge, if there is an edge, find it. Know it. Own it. And then, what can you do to grow it, to stretch, to lean, to open? And from there, perhaps, recognize that nature is the nurture. And that the forces of nature can shape you into a force of nature.